Welcome to the Legacy Project Podcast, the show where your memories, mementos, and milestones become the foundation of a lasting family legacy. I'm your host, Don Fessenden, and today we're exploring a powerful and often overlooked part of storytelling, documenting family heirlooms and the stories behind them. Every family has objects, sometimes simple, sometimes ornate, that carry meaning far beyond their physical form. Maybe it's your grandmother's wedding ring, your father's tool set, a faded quilt, a recipe card, or even a military medal. These items don't just sit on shelves or in drawers. They speak. They tell us where we came from, what we value, and how love is passed down in tangible ways. In this episode, I'll walk you through how to identify these heirlooms, gather the stories that make them meaningful, and preserve both for future generations. Let's get started. Heirlooms are more than things, came before us. I remember holding my grandfather's pocket watch for the first time. It was small, worn, and didn't even work anymore. But knowing that it had ticked away the moments of his long, hard-working life made it feel sacred in my hands. It wasn't about the watch, it was about him. When we document family heirlooms, we give meaning to the objects and context to our legacy. We prevent those stories from being lost, and we create a guidepost for the next generation to understand where they came from. Not all heirlooms come in velvet boxes. Start by walking through your home or your parents' or grandparents' home and looking closely. Ask yourself, what items have been passed down from one generation to another? What objects were used during important family moments? Weddings, holidays, daily rituals. What has always had a place of honor in the house, even if it's never been talked about? It might be a hand-sewn apron, a carving knife, a family Bible with generations of names in the margin. These are heirlooms, not because they're valuable on the market, but because they carry memory, use, and emotional weight. This is where the real magic happens, the story behind the object. Sit down with the people who know. Ask your parents, grandparents, aunts, or uncles. Where did this item come from? Who did it belong to first? When was it used? And why is it important to our family? Record these conversations if you can. If not, take notes. Capture not only the history of the item, but the emotion tied to it. For example, one family I worked with documented a rolling pin that had been used in 5 generations of pie making. But the real story wasn't about baking. It was about perseverance, matriarchal strength, and how that simple tool held the spirit of the women who used it. Once you've identified your heirlooms and gathered their stories, now it's time to preserve them. Here's how. Photograph each item in good lighting from different angles. Write or record a description of what it is, who it belonged to, and why it matters. Store this documentation in a digital folder or create a printed keepsake album. Tag physical items discreetly with a label or code that connects to the story. Some families even create heirloom journals, a physical or digital catalog of treasured objects with stories told in the family's own words. This not only helps preserve the stories but reduces confusion or loss when these items are eventually passed down. Passing down an heirloom is more than handing over an object. It's entrusting someone with part of your family's story. Choose recipients thoughtfully. Share the story with them. Make sure they understand why the item matters, not just what it is. That understanding creates respect and appreciation, which keeps the legacy alive. Some families write short letters to accompany heirlooms, describing their history and their significance. Others record video messages to be played when the item is gifted. Whatever your method, be intentional. You're not just passing down things, you're passing down meaning. As we close today's episode, I encourage you to look around your home. Find one item, a photo, a tool, a piece of jewelry, anything that means something to you. Ask yourself, why does this matter? And more importantly, have I ever written down its story? Heirlooms remind us that legacy isn't only what we do, it's what we leave behind, in both memory and meaning. If you need help gathering, organizing, and preserving your family's stories and heirlooms, check out my book, The Legacy Project, a guide to sharing your story. It's filled with prompts and tools to guide your storytelling journey, object by object, story by story. Thank you for joining me on the Legacy Project podcast. Keep preserving, keep writing, keep honoring the stories behind the things that last. I'll see you next time.